Welcome to Buckets. This is Action Network's basketball betting podcast presented by FanDuel. I'm your host, Maria Marino, and I'm joined by a very special guest, Jay Money. He is our Action Network contributor. You can find him on Twitter at JMoneyIsMoney. Jay, how you doing today?
I'm doing great. Everything's going well. It's the summertime, right? So a lot more free time. Can't wait to talk some WNBA with you.
Yeah, and as we keep saying, if you follow Action Network folks, you probably know Jay already because he kills it on the NBA side of things. But just because NBA is over, we still get to bet basketball here in the summer, which is a great time here talking WNBA. So I appreciate you coming on. This is for Friday, June 16th. We got two games on the slate. Mercury are the underdog, big underdogs. 11.5 is the spread, taking on the Mystics at 8 Eastern. And then in our later game, it's the Lynx, the Sparks. In LA, Sparks are favored by 5.5 at 10 Eastern. Which of these games caught your eye as far as making a bet?
Yeah, well, I do like the LA Sparks here tonight, -5.5. You might be able to get it at 5 by game time. Looks like it's starting to go down a little bit, but I do like the Sparks in this spot. They did just lose to the Minnesota Lynx in their a few games ago on June 11th there. So this is something I like to call a quick revenge spot after losing 91-86 in Minnesota. There was Sylvia Fowles jersey retirement night as well. So the Lynx had a ton of motivation in that spot, but they won't have a lot of paint protection in this spot with their starting center, Jessica Shepard, being out for this game. She had 13 rebounds in that last game. She averages 9.1 on the season as well. So you won't have that paint protection. You won't have a ton of size, and you're going to be missing that rebounding as well. And I think that's big going up against Hamby and Ogwumike. Hopefully they get Chene back as well. So I am liking the Sparks here to bounce back, even though they're at the rest disadvantage. I think they can get it done. They play a lot better at the house.
All right, so the pick is in. It's Sparks -5.5 for this evening via J Money. And look, I think the Sparks are just flat out a better team than the Lynx this year. And, the Lynx, they've been a little disappointing. I think they have, 2 wins on the season? And you mentioned Jessica Shepard. I believe she's dealing with an illness. They've had some injuries going on as well. Diamond Miller is their rookie. She's got a right ankle sprain, out indefinitely. She'll be missing her 5th straight game. And then oddly, Ariel Powers, it hasn't affected them that much because she wasn't really cracking the rotation a ton anyway. But just for what it's worth, she will not play Friday. She's going to be missing her 3rd straight game with an ankle injury as well. But yeah, the Sparks, I feel like they're on the come up. They've been well coached so far by Curt Miller. And like you said, I like that idea of the revenge game, right? So let's move on to Mercury and Mystics. And I'll tell you, I see this as obviously a kind of a stay away game for you, and I'll tell you why it is for me as well. So look, we know Brittany Griner is doubtful to play. She injured her hip Tuesday against Seattle. And so I want to ride with the Mystics, especially because, they've been struggling a bit too. And they lost their last game to the Indiana Fever. And so I feel like that's a little embarrassing for them. And knowing that BG is out, they're going to want to come out strong. But being that high number, that double-digit spread, just makes me a little nervous because this Mystics team hasn't been very consistent.
Yeah, no, I'm right there with you. The Mystics I know that they have the wins to show for it, but they hadn't been covering the spread. And something I noticed with the Mystics, they're a lot better. Like, if you do like them in this game, I would take them first half. For whatever reason, they always seem to melt in the second half. I think that comes to the first-year head coach over there. So the Mystics don't really have that killer instinct. I'll be perfectly honest. Even without Brittany Griner, I could still only look towards the Phoenix Mercury +11.5 full game. Maybe when Griner's officially ruled out. Maybe that goes up even to 12.5. So I could only look towards the Mercury here. I know that they're like they hadn't been winning a lot of games. Deanna Taurasi's coming off a game where she didn't score a single point. So sounds pretty crazy, but this could be like the injured player out theory where that player's out, but then everyone else is step up. So I can only look towards if I'm betting the Mystics, I'll be
Yeah.
looking at them first quarter, first half. And if I'm
Yeah.
betting the Mercury, we could only look towards them full game. The Mystics do not like showing up in the second half for whatever reason.
That's a really good point. I was thinking about that with Phoenix as well. Like you would think, oh, no BG, they're going to struggle, which they did the other night because she didn't play the second half against Seattle. But I'm 100% with you. Diana has, I don't think, ever shot that poorly in her career. If she has, it's very rare the way she played the other night. And then, Sophie Cunningham's been playing really well. I know she's going to have the team fired up. She said they kind of need they need something. They need some fire here. And to your point, the Mystics, they're not giving me that confidence where I would want to bet on them. I'm not gonna go one way or the other here, like I said, but I do like that strategy out of you with how to target those two teams in the spot if you were to do it. I did want to mention as well, at last check, the total for that game was around 157.5. That's obviously on the lower side for WNBA games. But I noticed that the Mystics are 8th in the league in pace, Mercury 9th. Mercury have the 10th rated offensive rating, Mystics 11th. So, these are two teams that struggle to score. They're slow teams. Although, interestingly, Mystics second in defensive rating. So I wonder what they do here, again, without having to worry about Brittany Griner. And just another note too for Washington, Maisha Hines-Allen has been coming off a knee injury. She'll be on a minutes restriction, but at least good for them to sort of have her back in the fold. All right. So again, it's just the two games here, Friday, June 16th. Anything else you wanted to get into, Jay?
Oh, that's it for me. I'm on the Sparks. Usually this way I do it. Like I'll go with one top pick. I know I don't do a lot of props and stuff like that, but I may start like as the season goes on, as we learn more and more, get more data points. But for now, I did the same thing in NBA. I kind of just like to go with my one top pick, and it's usually a good one.
Perfect. Well, we're happy that you shared it with us here on Buckets. And as the season goes on, we're actually going to be increasing the amount of episodes. So we've been doing them once a week on Friday. Starting next week, we're going to actually do Tuesdays and Fridays. So stay tuned for that. Jay Money, I'm sure we'll have you on again soon. It was such a pleasure having you. And I just want to thank everyone for listening to Buckets. Once again, we are presented by FanDuel. Oh, another reminder, if you don't already follow J Money, I already mentioned on Twitter, but on the app as well, just so you can see, I don't want to shout out your record, quite yet, but I know it's pretty good. So definitely go find J Money on the Action app. Please rate and review this podcast as well, 5 stars preferably. You could win Action swag or a free subscription to Action Pro. J Money, can't thank you enough. Let's get buckets.